Yo, I'm Adrian from Rabona TV and welcome back to World Cup Daily, where I'll get you up to date on everything that happened today and send you along with a few words to keep in mind regarding the following day's matches. But no matter how good my coverage is, it won't top Swedish television. Is that what you want? Okay. I'm joking. But I am wearing this as a little ode to my girlfriend's country. R.I.P. to their World Cup 2018 dreams back in November, ages ago. Anyways, and what a great start to the day it was. And I'm not talking about the Egypt versus Uruguay match, not yet. I'm talking about the Russian government having to make a statement regarding a Nigerian tradition of bringing live chickens into the stadium. This won't be allowed. However, the Russian government is going to advise fans on where they can bring their chickens. See, the World Cup brings everything together and everyone is in harmony. Well, I think that Egypt certainly surprised some with just how difficult they made this opening match for Uruguay. Or perhaps it wasn't a surprise, for Uruguayans at least, seeing as they are chronic slow starters in the World Cup. What was a surprise, however, was after Hector Cooper said that Salah would 100% feature for the Pharaohs, he ended up staying on the bench for the entirety of the match. Probably a good call to save him for two winnable matches in the group stage. Mind you, this match could have been winnable too. Maybe Salah would have made the difference. Tough call. Is it worth putting him out there and risking injury? I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't a great match, but as I said, Egypt held their own throughout, bar the last 20 or so minutes when Uruguay really started to push for that winner. Before then, Egypt looked strong defensively and even had a couple of decent chances going forward. But they just couldn't find an opener as Muslera stood strong for his 5th World Cup clean sheet. That means he's now tied with Ladislao Mazurkiewicz for the Uruguayan record for clean sheets at the World Cup. Uruguay's attacking players were left frustrated in this match, with Luis Suarez barely being given any room to breathe and not having a great day in the first 45 minutes, with 4 shots and only 1 on target. He was forcing it a bit out there. This moment in particular was a bad one. Swinging out, loose in the box, chance, Gary Lineker smashed him as well with this tweet. Ouch. And Cavani probably wanted to rip his beautiful mane of hair out thanks to Egypt's El Shenawi making a miraculous save and getting denied by the post from a free kick. But in the 87th minute, they finally got the breakthrough as Jose Maria Jimenez was on the end of Carlos Sanchez's free kick and his bullet header finally put Uruguay in front. And I'm sorry I'm losing my voice a little bit. You'll see why later in the video. That was Jimenez's first goal for Uruguay, as he dominated this match with the most interceptions, clearances, and aerial duels won. Oh, and as for Carlos Sanchez, an assist is nothing new for him, as he provided his teammates with 7 throughout the qualification campaign. The loss probably feels a little bit harsh for Egypt though, given that they played well without their talisman, and again, you have to wonder what the outcome of their attack would have been with Mo Salah as part of it. But we don't know how well he could have played, as he would probably be playing with a little bit of apprehension due to his injury, and when you're playing with a little apprehension, you're not as effective. Uruguay fans will be happy that they have won their opening World Cup match for the first time since 1970, truly deserving of their slow starter title. I wasn't just being hyperbolic. And so here's how things stand after the first round of matches in Group A. Russia are of course at the top, Uruguay in second, Egypt in third thanks to their not so bad loss in comparison to Saudi Arabia, who are in last place following a 5-0 thrashing. This morning's next match was the opener to Group B, seeing Iran take on Morocco, and before I watched that match, I found this gem, which is a World Cup song from Morocco by Ali B.
Hello, Kirby, who is Nahalik, good luck, Morocco.
Oh, okay, that's a nice touch from Snyder, but the opening to the video, a little cringe.
Hallo beste Marokkanen. Ik hoop dat jullie in de finale komen. Mabouk, Maghreb. Yallah!
Now, of course, the Dutch connection is due to no less than 5 players on the Moroccan team, all being born and raised in Holland. Hakim Ziyech, Mubarak Boussoufa, Karim El Ahmadi, and Nordin and Sofiane Amrabat, the bros. But in the match itself, Morocco started out quickly, absolutely dominating both the possession and opportunities for the large part of the first 15, before it started to even out a bit. Morocco did still have the lion's share of the possession, but Iran started to impose themselves on the counter, breaking out with great speed and incisive passing. They looked pretty good, but they let themselves down whenever they got in and around the box, whether it was Sardar Azmoun and his poor touch that took away from his scoring opportunity, or players getting their wires crossed and both going for the same ball. They looked like they were simply too excited or nervous when they got around the Moroccan goal, and perhaps if they had cooler heads, they could have stolen the lead. That was pretty much the story of the first half. And the second went about the same way, with Morocco again coming out flying and Iran again taking longer to get into this match. But as the match went on, and this is also a credit to Iran's defense, they seemed to lack some ideas in the attack. So that could be their downfall. In fact, that could be the downfall of both teams going forward, the lack of an attacking punch, as it only gets harder for them from here. Both have to go up against Spain and Portugal next, as you know already. But thankfully for Iran, however, they didn't need to be good offensively to win the match, as Aziz Bouhadouz flew through the air to hit an incredible diving header into the back of his own goal. That's harsh for Morocco, as these teams both deserve to get the draw, but unfortunately, that's football, man. Mistakes will cost you at this level, especially when you only have 3 matches to determine your fate in the group stage. There's not much room for error. But that was Iran's first World Cup win since 1998, so congrats to them. All right, let's move on to the big one, Portugal versus Spain, and see what effect that had on the standings and my lifespan, because that was hard to watch, in a good way. Now, Portugal, surprisingly, came out flying in this one, really taking the match to Spain, and they were rewarded for their efforts just 4 minutes in when Nacho fell for Ronaldo's trap and took a stab at the ball, making contact, albeit not a ton, and thus a penalty was awarded. And who else but Ronaldo to put it away and De Gea to dive the wrong way. I'm sorry, that's harsh on De Gea. You can't really judge a keeper for their penalty-saving ability. Ronaldo became the first player in history to score in 8 consecutive major international tournaments and just the 4th to score in 4 World Cup tournaments, behind Pele, Miroslav Klose, and Uwe Seeler. But going right back in the other direction, Spain really began to impose themselves in possession, as everyone thought they would from the get-go. And in the 24th minute, Diego Costa and Pepe jumped for the ball. Diego made no contact with the ball but sent an elbow into Pepe's throat, but no call. Whatever. Things get missed. But what doesn't get missed is how brutal Portugal's defending was following that incident, in which Diego was able to cut back and forth into oblivion before picking out the bottom corner. Nice finish from Diego Costa there. Minutes after that, it looked like Spain would take the lead thanks to an Isco screamer that banged off the bar and out off of the line. That was a really close call. From there, Spain were easily the better of the two teams, with Portugal unable to string together more than a few passes. But Ronaldo only needs 2 opportunities, and in the 43rd minute, he put Portugal ahead. But was it more Ronaldo or De Gea that we can thank for the Portuguese lead? I'm not so sure, but De Gea definitely was haunted by the ghost of Loris Karius. In his last 3 World Cups, Ronaldo had only scored 1 goal per tournament from an average of 24 shots. At halftime in this match, 2 for 3. But of course, it was Spain who came out looking much stronger in the second half, with their midfield completely overrunning William Carvalho. He had a really tough day. But their goal would come from a well-worked set piece as Sergio Busquets headed the ball back across goal for Diego Costa to guide in. So, for his first goal, Diego scored with his first shot in a World Cup tournament, and he bags a second within the same game. That's a great debut for him. Speaking of debuts, I imagine that in celebrating Diego's second, Nacho must have said something along the lines of, "Hold my beer, Diego." As just 3 minutes later, the fellow debutant hit an absolute screamer that banged in off of the post, from 2-1 down to 3-2 up in just 3 minutes. Diego scored in the 55th, Nacho in the 58th. Portugal continued to look pretty brutal in the attack, with Spain doing a great job of keeping them out and restricting their chances, but Gerard Piqué made the mistake of fouling Ronaldo from about 20 yards out in the 88th minute, and then smash it. Or let Rafa take it. It's Ronaldo.
Oh! Yes! 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 Let's go!
Yes, Ronaldo!
Yes!
Come on! 3-3. I'm sorry for everything I said about your free kick taking, Ronaldo. Wow, what a big game player. 3-3, and that's how it would end. By the way, that was from my watch-along, so if you missed that watch-along, join us for the next one. Let's talk Ronaldo now, though, who gets off on absolutely smashing records. After 44 free kick attempts in major tournaments that have either gone off the wall or into the crowd, Ronaldo made his 45th count, completing the 51st hat-trick of his career, and, coincidentally, the 51st hat-trick in the history of the World Cup. In doing so, he also became the oldest player to score a World Cup hat-trick at 33 years and 130 days old. He was also the first player in World Cup history to score a hat-trick against Spain and took his overall tally up to 84 international goals. Incredible. So, as of now, Iran is in first place after their 1-0 win over Morocco. Portugal and Spain are in second and third. And Morocco is, of course, at the bottom of the table currently. So, that's what happened today, and here's what you can look forward to on a packed World Cup Day 3. Argentina and Lionel Messi get things started off against Iceland in Group D. Your move, Messi. But seriously, don't count out Iceland completely. Argentina should be able to bury them, but Iceland have proven that they aren't going to make things easy for anyone. Plus, Argentina weren't overly convincing in qualifying, so you can't jump to any conclusions there. Another team that has loads of talent, but isn't extremely convincing all the time? France. However, they are taking on an Australian side that had to change their coach in January. They're now coached by Bert van Marwijk, by the way, the World Cup finalist in 2010, and they did make it hard for themselves in qualifying, going through both the Asian and intercontinental qualifying to get to Russia. They took a roundabout route. Peru versus Denmark is an extremely interesting matchup as Peru come into this thing in really good form, and boosted by the news that their captain and top goal scorer, Paulo Guerrero, can play, while Denmark are also coming into this looking decent, following a massive qualification campaign from Christian Eriksen, who's rumored to be going to Barcelona now that Antoine Griezmann isn't after his La Decisión special last night. Boring. Anyways, and finally, another extremely balanced match in Croatia taking on Nigeria. Nigeria, for me, are the strongest African team, or at least I think have the best chance of advancing, just ahead of Senegal. While Croatia, they're looking quite strong themselves with the players that they have, and despite losing to Brazil in a pre-tournament friendly, they beat Senegal. Speak of the devil. Should be a good one. Alright guys, that's all from me today, so now you are all caught up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're finding me for the first time, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.